Okay, we can do this quick video as an information buster, as a blockbuster to destroying the Pan-African belief that some black sub-Saharans or any other black Africans built the Grand Pyramids in Africa. What we saying is the Malian Empire, the same Malians who build the same mounds and cliff dwellings like in the America, Colorado area, is some Muslims. And what we saying, the Egyptian pharaohs, just like the Mali Mandate culture, is some Muslims. It's some Islamic people. So what we saying is the Muslims is going to get credit for this and not the Black Power African Mason, groups ran by Sara, suten, Seti and the Kemetic religion of Jabari Osaze. So let's look them up so we can refute them and we can have it on record. It's over with. The game is over for them and we eliminating them, and then we can move in, on the confusion with the Indians and the Moorish Aboriginals. We can go in and get rid of them. But let's get rid of the African once and for all, because I already dropped a video on it, but this is the game killer right here. Okay. Let's look them up before we destroy them and their beliefs in one video. Okay, what we looking for? Let's look them up. Sara, suten. Okay. Okay. This is Sara, suten, Seti, and he believes the black African American Afro community of the Hotep culture built the pyramids. And they have the names of Khufu, Khafre, Tut, Akhenaten. They use these Egyptology terminologies and claim to be Egyptian scholars. Okay. And they speak all around the world about the black race, the black people of America, the black people of Africa. So they have their own separate culture from everyone else, and they're gaining, popularity on the YouTube. So this is Sara, suten, Seti once and for all. We get to the top of this, and they fight for the African nation, the formation of an African nation. Okay. And they believe that the black people built the pyramids. Okay. So let's get to the other leader. And he is the leader of the Black Power Cartel. And you can see him on Facebook. Okay. Alright. So let's get to the other leader of the Kemetic religion. And his name is Jabari Osaze. Okay, and he even have books. As you can see, he have books. 7 Little White Lies. And he believes that the Egyptian pyramids was built by the black Africans of the Kemetic shrine of Mayat, or the religion of Kemayat. Okay, so we can go on and knock them out the box in this video and let you know that they some psychopathic goddamn maniacs. And these is African Masons who don't, they don't got nothing to do with them. They in Africa. This is Robert Mugabe in Africa handling major African business, and he don't know shit about these people. I don't know if they even ever met Robert Mugabe, but that's somebody they should meet. Okay, but this is Jabari Osaze, and the other one was Sara, suten, Seti. And you can see who Jabari Osaze rocking with. You see how he getting down with the politicians. Okay. We see how they getting down. Now let's get to the business. Let's get to the business of who really built the pyramids. Let's say African built the pyramids. African built pyramids in Egypt. Okay. Okay, King Khufu, the ancient Egyptians. However, their skin was definitely lighter than the sub-Saharan Africans, who are people who are typically considered black. Egyptians typically show peasants as having dark skin than nobles. Okay, so that's an argument. No matter how dark skinned they is, the eumelanin, we got eumelanin too. So as long as you don't have pheomelanin, you is a part of these people. We all the same. That's what the European albino don't understand. He cannot comprehend it. So that is not an argument for him. But what I'm saying, regardless, the black or light, whatever color, did not build the pyramids. Whatever color you can come up with, it is a particular culture and nation who built them. And they are not called Egyptians. That is a lie. Okay, so let's get to this, the true story of who built the Great Pyramids. Egyptologists believe the pyramid was built as a tomb for the 4th dynasty Egyptian pharaoh Khufu, often Hellenized as Cheops, and was constructed over a 20-year period. Khufu's vizier Hemiunu, also called Heman, is believed by some to be the architect of the Great Pyramid. Okay, so let's find out if this is true. Because, these guys is not going to give up. And their whole culture is basically founded upon the belief that some black Africans built the so-called mirrors or pyramids. They're actually called mirrors. So they're lying to you all across the board. And we can do all of the learning in this video. Pyramids are mirrors. Okay. Mounds and mirrors. Pyramids versus mirrors. Oh, this is taking too long. I gotta turn off some of my devices. Okay. Mirrors. Mirrors. The Nagaru. Okay, the Nagaru. I knew the Nagaru built the pyramids. I been knew that. I knew it was the Nagars. And it is not the Egyptians. Al Haram. Edo. Okay, I'm looking for somebody. Okay, the race that built the mirrors were the Nagaru 9 ether beings, what this world calls Negroes. The Nagaru at the time were at their most perfect state of being. Supreme beings with the galactic genetic link to the 9 Sejud or Great Enid. The Great Sejud are the highest 9 etheric Etherean council with all expanding. Great explanation. The Nagaru, and that is so true. But let's find out exactly what type of Nagaru to end this video. And we can even verify that Nagaru even exists. So we have the Nagaru still existing in the Southeast Asia region of the Cook Islands. And this is the Oceania region near the Solomon Islands. And I can get some more verification about the Naguru. And that's who they've been chasing over in Australia. The Yambas Naguru village, as you can see, they do exist. The Nagaru, still alive, not dead. They still alive to this day. So we know that when they ask the so-called American Indian what is his language, we know now to tell them our language is nigga or Nagari, because it's nothing but English. And I already taught that, and it is nowhere around this. and Nagari and Rongo Rongo was connected. I already proved that in previous videos. And this is just a friendly reminder that your top scholars of Sara, Suten, Seti Jabari Osaze is small time and possibly agents of retardation. Because if I don't have all the accolades they have and all of the following and so-called wealth, how come I was able to figure out where your ancient language was and where your ancient people were? And did you know the Nazarene, so-called Jesus, fighting over there also was a Naga? That's another story. So we have the Nagari, which is Hindu. We know it is so-called Hindu, and we know Hindu gave birth to English. And you know we speak English oh so well. And we know Rongo Rongo come from America, along with Aymara script. So we found the Nagaru, we found the Naga, we found the Nagari. Now let's find out who built those grand pyramids to shut down your local historian from teaching you that black crap. And now you know this is why they call you nigger. Okay. So now we know they call you nigger. And we now see why they are hiding the Moorish American culture. They are playing games with that. And we're going to find out exactly why the Hotep community Masonic groups, you know, can really look at your face, smiling in your face with a straight face, knowing that they some straight clowns. And it should feel good to know that it's over with proof. You know, you can show this. You can show this to your local historian, your black African American historian. You have permission to show this to them and say, you lied to me. Black sub-Saharans did not build the mirrors. That's right, they didn't. The story is a lie. So just to combat or compete with white supremacy, I don't have to make up a fake illusion and become delusioned by the illusion, you know, of some black supremacy, you know, which is fake within itself, as well as white supremacy. So, okay, let's find out the proof in this video, because it don't have to be long. This video don't have to be long, because I got other videos to do that I'm already behind on, because I got to shut down this belief that Muslims or Islam wasn't in America. You know, about certain Indian communities is trying to claim Latin America, Moorish, and Arabic influence doesn't exist. We got to get to those videos. And then we got to get to white supremacy. And of course, Venezuela, which is nothing but Phoenicia, is under attack. And you are being distracted. So how can politicians represent you when they are given millions to represent someone else? So we have so-called indigenous wannabes out here getting political and all up in the entertainment business industry, instead of knowing themselves and getting this information out to destroy the lies. Right? So we're about to destroy 2 lies with 1 stone of information, because we have the leader of the Kemetic Hotep religion of Jabari Osaze, and we also have Sara, Suten, Seti of the militant faction of the Black Power Cartel, Black extremist group, lying as well. You know, very persuasive, you know, very cunning with their choice of words and display, but you cannot get past the truth. You can't get past the truth, and this video is basically for informational purposes. It is not for entertainment. I'm not trying to get everyone hyped up. Okay, so we see the translation, and if you can look on the 3rd sentence, we see Ersef Peru, Mesisuneb Tawi, Ursa Mauro Sotepenra, Asora Aminmaramesu. So we see where this Peru is derived from and what this Peru means, the sanctuaries. So we see that Peru was the sanctuary of the Confederation Kings. And when I get a chance, I can show you the proof of I believe it was, I don't really remember. Okay, it was the temple. It was a pyramid temple that was subterranean, but it had the Confederation Kings and so-called Akhenaton with kings from other countries. You know what I mean? And the story is intriguing. And it's something that I learned from and found out that these people was over here in America and been over here in America. And they had been dealing with the cocaine and the marijuana and other hallucinogens, you know, with this mighty Asiatic culture. And, you know, we have Peru right here telling you that it is a sanctuary. And now you can put two and two together of, wow, it was so many temples over there and so many big, large buildings. Now let's get to who built these structures and their might. And on the obelisk, if you know what an obelisk is, Yamir bin Shaddad had founded the city anyway. And these are like Assyrian people. If you know what Syria is, they're bombing Syria right now, probably to loot them for their ancient treasures and ancestral grave sites and any other technology they can find over there, ancient technology. But this is translated by someone who knew about all of this information, and they revealed it to the invaders. So they had it first, and you would have never even gotten it if it wasn't for them. So we have to take that into consideration. And this is on the obelisk, and it reads, I, Yamir bin Shaddad, who is the founder of the city and is the son of the Ad, the original Ad. And we can get the names of him on another video. I even have a translation from an Arabic student in Arabia who can break down who the Ad king was, and they admit that they were giants. Yes, they had dark skin, but they were Muslim. They were more mightier than, they might have been kings. They weren't even Muslims. These were kings. Muslims are just like protectors, like lower level angels. These men were mightier than you could imagine. And let's just read this for proof, because if they don't know what they're talking about and they want you to run from Arabic, basically we have these so-called Egyptian scholars of the ancient Kemetic rite of Jabari Osaze, and we have Sara, suten, Seti reading text from the so-called hieroglyphs, and they refuse to touch on Arabic, and who are the original Arabs. And we all know that Arab is short for Maghreb. It is Maghreb, and they just say Arab, short for Maghreb. And that is another argument, and just because we argue don't mean we have to be in our feelings about this. Okay, because Maghreb means west. Okay, Al-Maghrib means true west. Alaska, Al-Maghribia means true west extreme. And Alaska is the most extreme west point in the flat plain. So this is all crucial information. And when I get through reading this, that was translated hundreds of years ago, before you left your slave plantations in southern, eastern USA, cotton and corn and sugar cane fields, this information was being revealed. And this is on it. Yamir bin Shaddad had founded this city when old age did not yet overtake, nor death disturb, nor gray hairs trouble me. When stones were here in abundance, and men did not acknowledge masters, I have built its porticos and dug its canals, and planted its trees, and desired to embellish it with wonderful monuments and amazing structures. I have sent my servant El-Thabu bin Marat the Adite, and Mak-Im Abin Il-Amir bin Abi Rial the Tamadite, the Caliph, to Mount Tarim, the Red Mountain, and they cut out of it 2 rocks and carried them both on their shoulders. Then one of the ribs of El Tabu having been crushed, I cause the people of my kingdom to make reparation. So they built this obelisk that is actually in New York City. And this is the translation on it. And the King Shaddad of the Assyria, so-called, if you want to call them the Sumerian or the Babylonian, these so-called Babylonians were made to be bad guys because they built big buildings. And they defied the so-called federal government of that day and the governments of the world. No one wanted to see them build big buildings to the stars. Now everyone and their mother is building big buildings. Do you see the pattern here? Do you see what they do? They incriminate you and then they steal your technology. And if you can see in America, they did the same thing to us. We come up with something, basketball, rubber ball, Olmec ball, they steal it and make basketball. We got the ice hockey in Canada with the Nova Scotia settlers. They got the ice hockey. They get beat up and kicked to Africa. Now you have the USA have the ice hockey. You understand what I'm saying? What else did they steal? You know, we have polo, water polo. We have cricket. We have so many sports that they stolen from us. They probably even stole baseball from us. Who knows? But as you can see, Yammer bin Shaddad was building tall structures in the name of Islam, and according to the constellation alignment, they knew of this way before everyone else. And this is the Shaddad kings, and there were many more kings who built their resting places and mausoleums in direct alignment of the stars. So that means all over the planet, people was practicing cosmology and astrology. Okay? They was practicing it, not just studying it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like Islam, they was just not practicing it. It's Islamism. It's practicing it. You're not just saying it to someone. You are practicing it. So they was actually practicing it. And all of the masonry and the building of these structures come from these people in particular. And it is written. And we have the information right here for you today. And Il Amir bin Abi Ri'al, the Talmudite. So when you see Thomas in the Bible, Thomas, Tamez, Peter, Ptah, they are talking about the Egyptian, so-called Egyptians, and he was a caliph. Let's look up what a caliph is. And this will crush the dreams of the so-called African, Pan-African fanatics of the Black Power cartel and the Egyptian Kemetic religion. So we have Caliphate. Khalifa is an Islamic state under the leadership of an Islamic steward with the title of Caliph. Pronunciation: a person considered a religious successor to the Islamic prophet Muhammad and leader of the entire Ummah. That is another definition. That is not the total dictionary. And there also can be a hurra and a khalifa. There can also be a female to lead. So do not let them think. Let's look it up. Let's make sure you do know that Islam does not discriminate on women at all. That is a lie. So as you see, Al-Hurra or Al-Hurra, free woman, was a title historically often given to or referred to women who exercised power or had a position of power, high status. So as you can see, Al-Hurra is where the hurricane come from, and it is talking about the woman. The hurricane is fierce as this woman, and she is distinguished from the concubine. She is not a haram. Okay, so do not let them fool you. Alright, it is not haram. A harem. And the Caliphate, of course, was the caliph of our great brother, who was ordered to go and get the stones from the Red Mountain of the Tarim River in China, which is Canaan. See, I know all this information. Contrast your local Hebrew historian and your local Muslim historian and your local Black African historian, because I actually read. And if I'm reading from a source and reading it to you, that means someone is lying, because they have to show their source. So, as you can see, Cleopatra's Nita is right in New York. How could it be right there in New York with them and they not know this? The head of the Black Power Cartel Confederation of the Sadneta TV Awards panel and board members, whatever they call themselves, the obelisk is in New York, and they could have read it themselves. They could have went to the museum and had one of the people there break it down to them, but instead it took us all of this time to get it broke down to you. And we see who Yamir bin Shaddad is, and we see he ordered the Caliph to Mount Tarim, and we know the Caliph is a Muslim. And as you can see, we now know that the Muslims built the Grand Pyramid. Let's say Grand Pyramid. Okay, let's get an image. Okay, so when Sara, Suten, Seti says that these little pyramids, when he's comparing the Grand Pyramid to the littler pyramids, what he's failing to admit is the giants built them. Do you understand what I'm saying? So he's taking credit for a totally separate civilization, because you might have little people like you and I, you know, who might have some mounds, or we might have some little pyramids, but the Shaddai kings had the Grand Pyramids. Okay, now let's look it up to end the video. Let's end the video on a good note, because nobody is going to actually debunk this video. No one is going to question this video. It's not going to happen, because that's how you know it's a joke. That's how you know they're a joke. All of them are jokes, and these are the giants that was eternalized on Easter Island, because of course they had to run. They had to run to the Solomon Islands. They had to run to Australia. And that is where they went to kill the remnants of them, the so-called British, with their giant cannon guns and chain guns. Let's look up giants on Solomon Island. So they even have the videos, as you can see. They already on top of it, and the information is just getting to you. This information has been getting talked about for the last 10 years, and I've been on top of it. Now you need to know why it's being hidden, because as you can see, the giants of Solomon Island, and they're hitting UFO bases. You know what I mean? I'm not about to read this. I'm just letting you know it's getting talked about. You know, that's a whole different issue. That's like aliens and extraterrestrials. People is not believing in no giants. But you know, this is for you and I. This is for the adults. This is for the adults, not the children. Sara, Suten, Seti them is children, because they not ready to believe in giants building the pyramids. You know. So they not ready to believe in that. And they got the proof. This is a finger. This is a finger. If you look at the finger, and if you look at this object next to it, it's definitely bigger than our hand, probably. The finger is bigger than that. So they go to show you how big the giant's hands was. This is the evidence they have. This is the evidence they have. If you see the giants picking up the brick, you see the little man holding the king's stick, the king's rod, and that little man is probably big as this Arab-looking brother. And you see the big giant holding the block. The evidence is there, but nobody's talking about it, because this is top secret stuff that they don't want to. They don't want the little children knowing about this. They want the children to think some aliens and some European slaves built the pyramids. You know, they want to discredit the Muslims. And as you can see, your brother went out there and got the information for you. You know, we got the Grand Pyramid that was built by the Shaddai kings. Let's look it up. You know, because the Pan-African can never bounce back from this. That's why you're not getting this information, you know, instantly. It's right there in your face, but you're not getting it. It's too good to be true. And you funding these dudes, sending them to Patreon, and you know they lied to you. Okay, we see the giant ad, people. Let's look it up. Okay. Let's go back. Okay. Okay, here you go. Ad, Shaddad, and Madad. With translation. We have the Ad, Madad, and Shaddad kings, giant human beings according to Islam and Arabic hieroglyphs. Hieroglyphic is the Arabic language, and that is why Islam and Arabia, Maghribia, is under attack. Because they can sell you this stupid story that some slaves built the pyramids, and not Muslims and angels and gods. Do you understand? King Khafre, King Khufu, Menkaure are actually King Ad and Shaddad and Madad. The West cheats on the world by hiding the giant mummies of these kings inside the Giza pyramids. Giant mummies of King Ad and his sons. That is why they are in Syria and Iraq, killing those people, and that is why they have hired Jabari Osaze and Sara Seti to enthusiastically numb you down and dumb you down. We have already proved the giants built the pyramid, and the case is closed for the Pan-African Hotep community being able to teach us and inform us on anything because they refuse to inform us on the truth. King Khafre does not exist. King Khufu does not exist. King Menkaure does not exist. They are actually King Ad, King Shaddad, and King Madad. And of course they work for the West because they want the butter biscuits and the greenbacks to spend on their family. They even lie to their family for the fucking money, man. This is how low life and disgusting these fucking niggas is. They are fucking disgusting. These lame ass, weak ass, no spinal column hiving ass, weak ass, possibly cloned ass, factory, weak ass. I can't even I don't even want to keep on insulting them because it's just gonna make my blood go and boil. But as you can see, the lies right in your face. And it is up to you to accept the truth that your local historian is a fucking goofball. And I'm sitting up here, taking time out of my life to give you information. With proof. Hieroglyphs is the Arabic language. That's why Islam is under attack over here and over there. And we are the custodians of it. We are supposed to be the people who keep it up and keep it clean and keep teaching the lessons. But somebody decided that they wanted to keep all the glory for themselves. And they have hired all of these agents. Now, the people who wanted the glory for themselves are probably dead. Do you understand? These old ass devils is dead and gone. But the agents they hired is keeping the legacy of lies going so they can keep eating off our hard work. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you can see the cartouches right here, it don't say nothing about no damn Khufu and Khafre. The off the fake history for ancient Egypt, Western fantasy. When the so-called real Arabs translate it, it comes back to Assyrian lords. You understand what I'm saying? So, let's see if we can pull up a picture of the Assyrians. Assyrian drinking beer. Assyrian drinking beer. Might come back to Egyptian drinking beer. Who knows? Let's see. They probably don't have that on here. I need to have my stuff already lined up when I want to show something. It's gonna pop up. Let's say Black Egyptian. That'll mean Black Egyptian drinking beer on hieroglyph. Okay, here we go. If you see dude sipping beer with his family, this is actually an Assyrian warrior. So this gives you an idea of what an Assyrian looks like, or a Adad person, or a odd person. And as you can see, he's very tall and lanky with a beard, which is customary for the Islam. This is why the Islam people wear the beard. And as you can see, the typical African of Sara Seti, you know what I'm saying, of America, you know what I'm saying, they like to say that Islam is bad for you and you should stay away from Islam. And we know Assyria is historically Islam, and we see that they is over here, with the Egyptians as warriors and guardsmen, working in the military with the so-called Egyptian, but it's really the Kemet of the Canaan. The Canaan people is the so-called Kemet. So, I have the real, pic of him saying it's an Assyrian drinking beer, Assyrian warrior. I just can't find it right now. And, if you want to hold me to that, I'll go get it. But, I'm not going to talk about nothing that I didn't learn in the past. I'm not just going to bring up nothing, you know what I'm saying, acting like I know it. You know what I'm saying? So, Cairo, Illinois, Cairo, Egypt is the same civilization of people. You know what I'm saying? We was over there, we was over here. We everywhere. You know what I mean? That's why they call us Moors, because we more greater than you. You know, and as you can see, we have shut down the black African, Pan-African Hotep nonsense, because if they can't get it right, they can't teach us about the light and why our ancestors revered the light. You know what I mean? Revered the light, you know, and revealed to us the light and the power of the light. You know, they cannot teach you that. They not ready to teach you Israel's elite, you know, science. They cannot teach you that type of light science if they cannot even tell you the names of the people who built the so-called pyramids, and they can't even tell you that they was giants. You know, why is they wasting their time talking about some black Africans built the pyramids when it's a lie? You know what I mean? The obelisk says the Caliph built them. The Khalifa, man, we know who the Caliph is. It is even a territory called Caliphate, California, America. They go to show you the Caliphate is even in America, and then they hiding it in your face, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's on you for accepting the games. It's over with, man. It's over with, man. And I come at you with peace. I leave you with peace. You know what I'm saying? I came at you with peace. I left you with peace. You know? Because I showed my proof. I showed my hand. I already showed and proved to you that the American Negro has distinct DNA from the typical African. Even if they did take our people over to Africa, so what? Our people is over there. We over everywhere, wherever they saying we at, we was over there anyway. It don't make a difference. But we already know America is our land, so there's nowhere around it. So, you know, I'll show you one more visual of the proof. The black Africans did not build the pyramids. Muslims, Islamism, practicing Muslims built them. You know, you can read it and weep. You know, you have to deal with this, not me. You have to prove some black Africans built anything, and we don't believe it, because we know black African was a created concept, a federal misnomer attempted to hide and conceal the true builders and erectors of the first civilization, which is the Moor. So we have probably Narmer, where you get the name Narmer from, Yammer bin Shaddad. You see how terrible they are at pronouncing words. So we even have Maghreb. It's falsely called Arabia now, and when it should be Maghrebia instead of Arabia. And we have people on the internet arguing with me about simple stuff that you can just research. So the same writer then state, and this is the very obelisk which is in the corner of the city looking toward the east, while the other is seen further in the interior of the city. So they have another obelisk that we have to read from that was in the city before they took it in, placed it in New York. So we have the Tamadite, the Caliph, who was sent to Mount Tarim, which is in China, and they cut it out of 2 rocks. So, you know, we have the proof. The African Kemetic religion have to answer to this. We believe Islam built it, and we demand that they stop lying. Muslims built this city of the Grand Pyramids, and the giant Grand Pyramids builders was Hadad, and Madad. And we don't believe black Africans built it. The gig is up. We personally want to charge them with fraud. We want to seek fraud charges against these people, because it is a joke. You know, they want us to be quiet while they make their little money off Patreon, but at the same time they want to talk about Drew Ali and disrespect Moorish culture and Chicago culture. You can't do that. You know, if you can make your little dollar off your little scam, your little Egyptian scam, without disrespecting us, then we would have just sat there and been quiet about it. You know, but once you mentioned us, that's where you made your mistake at. Do you understand what I'm saying, Pan-Africa and Black Power? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sitting up here distinguishing myself and separating myself from Black Power and Africa Power. I am not into none of that. You know what I'm saying? I am into what we carved out and built at. Whatever we built and raised up is what we claim. We don't play games. If we made it, if we created it, we claim it. So I didn't make that. I didn't make Black Power. I didn't make Pan-African Union. I didn't make none of that. You understand what I'm saying? Our prophet said Chicago is the new Mecca. So what does that mean? Chicago is Mecca. It is the center, the epicenter of our culture and our ethnic group and our race. Not Africa. So with that being said, Muslims, with proof, built the grand mirrors or pyramids, and this cannot be denied. And you can tell your local African historian to attempt to challenge it. Otherwise, you are all retards to us at this point. You are all enemies to the truth at this point. Whoever goes against this video, whoever denies the truth is only going to be looked at as illiterates and liars and corrupters of original heritage and history. Corrupters of the truth, trying to reform the truth to fit their own retarded narrative. You cannot bend the truth. It's only gonna break you in the long run. You can keep trying, but it is over with. And this very video marks the end of the so-called illusion of darkness over your eyes. The 76 trillion years of triple darkness curve casted on you by Louis Farrakhan is over. You are no longer from the darkness, you are from the light. Just like Noah, the father of monotheism. Thank you, peace out, and we will follow up.